I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Now, I need your help. I need you guys to go to my PayPal link. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. I think I'm going to put it on the screen too, so you guys can go check it out. Donate to me and my show so I can do this full time instead of just part time. But it's been quite a few days since I've uploaded a video. I haven't uploaded a video, or I haven't uploaded that many videos because I was actually working on a video for my other YouTube channel that's mostly about sports and video games and just some inside football with you guys. That video took me at least 2 hours to edit, just to edit that video. It's probably like 2.5 hours. But it took me all that time to edit that versus with these news videos, it might take me about 15 to 30 minutes, maybe longer if the video is really long. It could take me like 30 minutes to an hour to edit one video, but that's one reason why I really like doing this news show. It's because the work. Sorry guys, the video just cut out because I ran out of space on the memory card. But so I'll try to continue. But what I can do is I could work on like I could do 2 videos, maybe 3 videos, news show videos in one day depending on the topic. So it's a little more flexible, and all the work is in the preparation, so it also depends on what videos I'm working on. If I'm working on some kind of long form issue that I'm working on right now, or I'm looking at doing is, for instance, what I'm going to do about just public banking and how the private banking system is not really as beneficial to the health and wellness of the people versus private banks. So I'm working on that, looking at some bunch of news articles on that, or trying to find some, because it's not like there's a shitload of people that are writing that used to write articles about that. But working on that, that'll take quite a while for me to put that together. But I'm gonna do that one, then I'm gonna do another video based off that one too. But on Thursday, I was as a black man, for me, I really need to actually go and seek out some of Black history, since it's Black History Month right now. And for some odd reason, the mainstream media doesn't ever want to really talk about some important shit that happened for 4 or 2 black people in Black History Month. So I think that's not an accident, but for me, I said, you know what, I'm going to go and check out some documentaries. I'm going to make a video about one of them, maybe 2, because I might do another one since it's like, yes, the 10th. So I still got like another week and a half or so. No, I got another 2.5 weeks of February. So yeah, I might watch another long documentary about Black history or African American history or African American literature, something along those lines. Because of course this is the month to really put out more than just one video about Black history or something like that. But when I was on Netflix and I typed in just Black history to see what documentaries will pop up, only one video or one program they had on there was having to do with Black history. So right now, or at least a couple days ago, for Black history, that's pretty shitty for them to only have just one documentary about that. But it was about the Black Panther Party, and I'm not going to go too deep into it because you guys need to go watch it because it's a good documentary. But I just want to talk about some of the situations and some of the circumstances about it and like how it plays out right now. I also want to talk about how whenever we're in grade school, especially we're in middle school and high school, they don't really talk too much about Black history. And whenever when you're in school, you don't really know it. But when you get out of school, and if you're thinking about Black history and you look back, you say, what the hell, they're actually cutting off certain spots like all the time. And they stop teaching about the history. Because what I recall is, I think around just after the Civil War, they cut it off. they don't really teach you a whole lot about the history of America right after the Civil War. They just talk about how the Union was able to beat the Confederates, were able to keep the Union. Aren't we so wonderful? The people that aren't racist were able to beat the racists, so we could keep the Union, and we're not just going to have two countries and one is just pro-slavery, so they're going to have slavery for who knows how many more decades before, the slaves revolt again, and then they're able to, I don't know, fight and get some rights, or just completely move out of the Confederate States, that kind of thing. But they always seem to cut off after that, or they also will skip. They'll cut off at this after the Civil War, and they'll skip to like World War II or something. Then they'll cut it off after that. So I think some of it is because they're not going to really talk about in history books what happened, 10 or 20 years ago. Because of course, as we go along, there's always history we're adding to the books. And of course, there's some things that you can't just teach all the children, because there's only so much throughout a whole year that you could teach the kids, and some things have to be left out. But of course, the establishment makes sure it's always all the negative shit, all the terrible, destructive shit that happened to black people. They always got to leave that shit out. So that's fucking problematic. Because even in college, when you go and take... Well, actually, I didn't take all the American histories, but I took American History 1. And yeah, it was the same shit thing. After the Civil War, cuts off. That's all we're going to teach you. So I guess they wanted to save all the post-Civil War history for American History 2. But I didn't take that in high school, because I took African American literature, and that really went along and taught me about a whole bunch of terrible shit that happened with the civil rights movement, and even before then, like the Jim Crow movement is well, that wasn't a movement, but just the Jim Crow era of policing and laws that were enacted right after the Civil War and Reconstruction. They never ever talk about fucking Reconstruction. And there's some good fucking reasons about why they don't do that. But I think a lot of it is with the Reconstruction and Jim Crow era, they don't want to talk about all the human rights violations and the fucking atrocities that they committed against black people. While at the same time talk about how they're for justice and freedom, and proclaim that all men are created equal. Of course, they're full of shit, because they really didn't actually enact that policy about treating all men as being equal. But let's get back to the Black Panther Party, because that's a documentary I watched on Thursday. It's a pretty good documentary, so if I forgot that I said this, you guys should go watch it. It's pretty good, because it goes really in depth with kind of the full history of the Black Panther Party. And just me talking about it for, 10-15 minutes ain't gonna do it justice. So, but one thing that's like really stark about just how we're taught about the Black Panther Party is they only gloss over it. Is people say, oh man, the Black Panther Party is a bunch of black guys with guns and had a black jacket, so they look cool. That's about it. So, but one of the really important things that I think society really, and the establishment really doesn't want to talk about the Black Panther Party is some of it was the criminality that the FBI enacted against the Black Panther Party. And a lot of it is because it was J. Edgar Hoover. He screwed over and he fucked over Martin Luther King Jr. because all he did was do all this illegal surveillance against them, just violating his fucking privacy, just willy-nilly. And they did that to the Black Panther Party too. They tap their phones and they try to send in people to infiltrate the party and trying to undermine people's rights to come together as a political group and organize and try to take away their free speech rights in a way by collapsing the political party. So that's one of the big reasons why they don't want to talk about it. And I think another big reason why they don't want to talk to people and educate the public about Black Panther Party is because they're fucking revolutionaries. Because the people at that time, it was, the mid 60s or early to mid 60s through the early 70s, is Black Americans needed a fucking revolution. We needed to make sure that the police were not gonna brutalize and just harass Black people willy-nilly just because they're fucking Black. That was one of the big issues that was going on back in the 60s. Of course, they also had the killings where they just kill a Black person because of just whatever, but that was one issue, was just police brutality and just unequal treatment against Black people by the police. And people needed to fight and say, you know what, we're tired of this shit. We need this shit to change right fucking now. Because they talk about they want a fucking revolution. They don't want to make small changes and just be reformers and make small changes here and there because this society is based on Black people being second-class citizens, making them first-class citizens with white people. That's fucking revolutionary right there. And they saw that as a fucking threat. That's how fucking racist and just disrespectful that the FBI and the CIA and all the intelligence agencies and just the establishment in general just has against Black people, is them fighting for their rights to be treated equally is a fucking threat. And they did some other good things too, but I want you guys to watch the documentary, see for yourselves. But another thing that happened is, another important fact is that a lot of the issues and the problems that are going on with society and with our social system and our criminal justice system are the same fucking problems we have now. Black people needed a revolution back then in the 60s, and we didn't fucking get it. And we needed one back in '08 when Obama was running for office, and we didn't fucking get it. And we had another kind of movement. No, we did have a movement for a fucking revolution with Bernie Sanders running for president in 2015 and 2016, and we didn't fucking get it. The people need a fucking revolution. We need to completely change the way that our political system and our economic system works right now. Because just making small changes or even big changes to this fucking system we have right now isn't fucking enough. And that's a big takeaway I got from watching that. Is small reforms isn't enough anymore.